Hi everybody, welcome back to another amp dyno video. Of course, it's a classic amplifier. It's from the mid-90s, it's from 1995, and the manufacturer is AMA, that means Audio Mobile Acoustic, and the model number is Q200, and the amplifier's ratings are 55 watts by 4 into a 4 ohm load or 55 watts by 2 and additional 110 watts by 1 for the subwoofer channel. You have 4 gain ports here. On this side you have the RCA inputs, and on the other side you have the speaker terminals and the ground and battery plus terminal, and of course the remote terminal. This amp is user supported. Thank you very much for sending in this amplifier for a dyno run. Its size and its dimensions are very cool and slimline. Look here how thin it is, almost like a bar of chocolate. And now let's go straight to the amp dyno.
The AMA Q200 is connected to the dummy loads, and it has 2 different modes, or maybe 3 if you count 3 mode with it. So first test is all 4 channels loaded with a 4 ohm load, and the amplifier features a mode where channel 3 and 4 can be bridged to a 4 ohm mono load. Continuous power test 1 kHz, all 4 channels loaded with a 4 ohm load. Take this one. And I have a peak voltage of around 21.8 volts. With 21.8 volts I measured an output power of 60.94 watts. Let's say 61 watts per channel into a 4 ohm load, all 4 channels driven into full power. And now let's have a look at the amplifier's efficiency by checking the current it pulls out of my power supply. Here you see the idle current. It's about 1 amp. 27.7 amps. I calculated an efficiency of 64.2%. Another continuous power test, but this time with a 50 Hz input signal. I got a peak voltage of 21.2 volts. With 50 Hz the amplifier delivers 57.6 watts into a 4 ohm load, all 4 channels driven into full power. Now I'm checking the amplifier's ability of dynamic power. I go down. We have 22.4 volts. Dynamically the amplifier puts out 64.3 watts into a 4 ohm load with 20 cycles. Now checking for dynamic power with 8 cycles every 32 milliseconds. There we have our 8 cycles. You see the first cycle is a little higher. I go straight to the last cycle and check if it's free of clipping, and yes it is. So I take a shot of all of them. And let's have a look at the peak voltage. The first cycle's peak voltage is 24.4 volts, and the last cycle's peak voltage is 23.6, and the highest cycle is 75.1 watts. I show the lowest cycle and the highest cycle, then we have 2 values in our new sheet. Now I'm testing the wattage we can squeeze out of the amplifier with just 1 milliseconds and 1 kilohertz. So we go to the peak voltage and we have 26.4. Let's calculate with 26.4 volts. The amplifier puts out 89.3 watts if we apply a 1 millisecond burst signal with just 1 cycle. The amplifier isn't rated 2 ohms per channel, but you can bridge channel 3 and 4 into a 4 ohm load, and that means it's 2 ohms per channel, but the amplifier isn't rated all 4 channels into 2 ohms. So that means now I'm testing channel 1 and 2 with a 4 ohm load, what I did before, and now additionally I connected a 4 ohm load to the 3rd and 4th channel, a bridged mono load of 4 ohms, it means 2 ohms per channel. And now let's have a look what happens if I test with a continuous input signal. So I think I have to test with dynamic power. At this point the amplifier shuts off. Dynamic power test with 20 cycles, only the subwoofer channel mono 4 ohms, channel 3 and 4 bridge, and channel 1 and 2 standard with 4 ohms per channel. That looks nice. No clipping in the first cycles. I go to the last cycle. Also no clipping. So I go down with my cursor and take one of the center voltages. And there we go. We have an output voltage of 40 volts. Channel 3 and 4 into 4 ohms delivers 205 watts. And now testing with 8 cycles. First cycle is okay. I go to the last cycle. Also looks okay. Let's have a look at the output voltage. We have 41.2 volts. With 8 cycles the amplifier puts out 217.6 watts. And now I'm checking how much I can squeeze out with just 1 cycle. Here we have it. 46.4 volts with just 1 cycle. The amplifier puts out 276 watts into the subwoofer channel. You can calculate the other 2 channels to the power, so you have the total output power of the amplifier, and I will put it in the amplifier power sheet.
I recommend to use some good headphones or a nice set of speakers to enjoy the sound test in best quality. thank you very much for watching and see you next time for another Amp Dyno video. Bye bye!